Hi, my name is Jeff J. Hunter.
And I'm Trisha Leconte.
And we are with BrandedMedia, and we're actually certified partner mentors. So we're excited to share with you guys something that I think every business owner could use, especially you guys as digital marketing agencies, which is how to leverage your personal brand to actually grow your business. But before you leverage your personal brand, you have to build one. And here's the thing, most of you guys are already building a personal brand, but you haven't done so intentionally. I know because I was in the same boat. I built a personal brand by accident, starting my own agency, which is called VA Staffer. It's a virtual assistant agency. And I got kind of my own personal brand by being the outsourcing guy. And I did it totally unintentional. Over the years, I learned how important it is to actually develop an intentional brand. So what we're gonna share with you today is what we call the core branding methodology. It focuses around 4 points, which is why it's called core. The first is connection. The second is omnipresence. The third is relevance. And the fourth is engagement. And first, we're gonna dive into a little bit about the power of connection.
It's really important for you to be able to build a deep emotional connection with your audience so that you build that relationship with them so that they know you, they like you, and they trust you.
Yes, and one of the things that you can do is just think about relatable stories that work for your audience. You know, part of building a connection with people is understanding them. Because a lot of times people think that, you know, if I just made my offer a little better, if I could just explain myself a little better, I would be able to get more sales. And actually that's the opposite of the truth, because what you need to do is show people that you understand them. You need to be able to show them that you understand the fear, you understand the pain, you understand the struggles that they're going through in their business, and you are going to be able to build a message around that really helps them. So when you're thinking about connection, I want you to just think about, like, who is the audience that you're working with? Who are you really trying to tap into, and what problem do you really solve? And how can you really position yourself as the answer to that problem? And that brings us to omnipresence.
Omnipresence is where your audience is. So there's a lot of different channels, and you got to figure out which one of these channels can you find your audience at. So it could be in magazines, it could be a podcast, it could be on social media platforms. And then we start to create the content, and we use the brand, like a brand guide, to make sure that all of your content is consistent across all these different channels.
Yeah, and that's really important. You got to have a very consistent content strategy. So this is going to move us actually into relevance. So what are things that make you relevant to your target audience? So for example, we, with a branding agency, the ability to convey that we are experts at understanding social media and how to understand sales copywriting and messaging. Like, she's gone through all the story brand stuff, so she knows how to help people take out all their stories and turn them into things that actually motivate people and encourage people and show them that they're the answer. So when you build out relevant content, what you're doing is you're saying, okay, you know what? You're being top of mind. You're being top of mind to that person. So when they think about, okay, I would really like to build something, who could help me build this? And you want to position yourself as that person who's helping them do that. So for example, in your own networks, if you are a digital marketer, which you probably are if you're watching this video, is you want to position yourself as the expert, right? The authority in that space. So you're going to be developing content around your expertise in an area. So you can do content about Facebook ads, YouTube ads, TikTok ads, different types of creatives that work. You want to position yourself as the go-to expert in your field. And one of the things that you'll know, and this is what the E is for, this is engagement. You'll know that your content is resonating with your audience when people are actually engaging. When people click like on your content, that's a vote. It's a popularity contest. And stuff's working when you have engagement. And I'm not talking about your mom liking your stuff on social media, which was me, by the way, well, for a long time. It's definitely it's not an overnight success. It's been years in the making, but it's just like that old saying, the best time to start a personal brand was 10 years ago. The second best time is now. So let me show you how all of this actually works together. Okay, and we're gonna deep dive into this further on into the certified partner training. But we're gonna give you a quick overview on how this works. This is the most intriguing part. When you have a deep emotional connection with your audience, and you're getting engagement from them, like if you tell very captivating stories on social media, you'll see all that engagement, people comment on your things. What's happening is you've actually captivated your audience. You've drawn them in. They feel like you're very, relatable, and they like your story. And this is the part that I think people really miss, because if all you're doing is talking about the cool products and services you've got, you've already lost, because everyone out there has a cool product or service. But what makes you different? Why should people work with you instead of the 100 other digital marketing agencies that are out there? What makes you unique? What is your story? You got to be able to captivate people. And when you have a really captivated audience, you have that deep emotional connection, and you're also omnipresent, which means for me, I'm a contributor for entrepreneur.com and Forbes.com. And obviously, I'm an educator here at DigitalMarketer. So these are different ways for me to grow my brand and my authority inside of a certain space. So you've got to think about, if you have a very strong, deep emotional connection with people and you're on multiple platforms, whether it's Facebook, LinkedIn, Digital Marketer, wherever, right? You're then being able to create what's called a community, which is important because you want to be able to turn your message into a movement. I know that you're way into that.
I love that. Yes.
Why don't you tell them how important that is to not just talk about your products and services, but why it's important to turn it into a movement?
Yeah, I think you become the most attractive when you can resonate with your audience by being your truthful self. And the reason that you want to be a coach or an entrepreneur is due to some reason. And so if you share that, David Meltzer always says the truth vibrates the quickest, then you can really build that deep emotional impact with your audience. And so you want to just build a huge movement, not just one-offs here and there. You don't want to just help one person there, and one person there, but you want to build this huge community, and they want to be part of something bigger. So why not create a movement?
I mean, that's why you're here, right, at Digital Marketer. I mean, Digital Marketer has been my family for many years. I fly out to Austin to do these things and hang out and speak on stage at the Digital Marketer Certified Partner Day. And I feel like this is such an incredible opportunity, not only to develop my own personal self, because look, I'm going to be honest, I'm greedy. I learn a lot at these things. Digital marketing landscape changes a lot. So it's really important to surround yourself with people that are growing and building with you and that can share best practices. Okay. So that is why you need to develop your own relationships. This is the last part, by the way. You need to develop relationships within your community of experts. It's interesting because everybody wants to be an expert. Everybody thinks they're an expert, but you know what? You're not an expert until other people that are already recognized experts say that you're an expert. I know that sounds kind of weird, but it's true. Yes. Like if I walk into a room and someone like Ryan Deiss comes up to me and goes, "Hey, Jeff, what's going on, man? That's cool." And then other people are like, "Oh, you know Ryan Deiss? Like at Digital Marketer, he's kind of a big deal, right?" So what are you guys doing to actively build relationships with people that are going to be able to help you build authority in your brand? And that is one of the most underrated steps of all time. Dennis Yu, who also does plenty of things here at Digital Marketer, he has something really incredible that I'm sure if you go in the back and check it out, but there's something of basically a relationship mapping tool. I would love for you guys to just think about 10 people that would be so important for you to build relationships with in your industry, that if you built relationships with those people, you could co-create content with them. They could help you find other additional opportunities to speak in front of different crowds and start using your personal brand so that you have relevant authority. And here's the magic word, the whole hook, line, and sinker here: influence in your field. It's one thing to be an expert, it's a different thing to have influence, because there's a lot of experts that I can tell you nobody knows about. But if you have influence, that's the key. So again, I'm going to summarize all this for you. You want to build a deep emotional connection with your audience. You do that through storytelling. You want to build up your omnipresence, which is being strategic about where you put out your content. And obviously having a strong content strategy, and then developing your authority and influence in the space by developing relationships with others that you know are very valuable and important, that you can actually add value to them as well. And that, my friends, is how you build a personal brand for your agency. My name is Jeff J. Hunter.
And I'm Trisha Leconte.
Thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you more inside the program.